Hey everyone, welcome to Jojo's World.
Why, good midday to you, sir.
It's approaching noon.
But which noon? 12 or 1? We'll never
What?
say. There's different people who consider noon to be 1 or 12.
Well, they're wrong.
What? When is noon?
12. That's why they say 12 noon.
No, you say 1. That's noon. 12 is 12. That's midday. Oh no, I've given the game away.
You're wrong.
Oh, no way. No way.
I'm Liam S. Smith, one of your co-hosts.
And I think Valentine, the other one of the co-hosts.
This is Jojo's World, our Jojo's Bizarre Adventure recap and discussion podcast, where today we are talking about Heavy Weather Part 2, which is the 31st episode of Jojo's Bizarre Adventure Part 6, Stone Ocean,
It's a banger.
by Hirohiko Araki.
It's a depressing
And David Production. And Lucky Land Productions.
Lucky Land.
It covers another complicated array of chapters. Chapters 721 through 723 of the manga, in addition to pages 3 and 5. Sorry, 3, 4, and 5 of chapter 727. That's a 4-chapter break there.
Okay.
And page 2 of chapter 728.
Why did we skip basically 20 pages of a chapter?
Well, Nick, as you know, what?
Didn't you say it was 3, 4, 5 of 727?
Yeah.
And then page 4 of
Page
728?
Yes.
So, that's missing 20 pages of one of the chapters.
Yes, and also 4 chapters between.
Yeah, but that's whatever.
Seems like an odd thing to drill down on. I would wager, Nick, if you cast your mind back to the events of this episode, or cast your mind forward to the recap of what we're about to do, that the big chunk of chapters is probably the flashback. The 4 pages is probably Anasuian Weather Report, and the 1 page is probably Jolene and Co.
Oh, yeah, true. True.
The structure of the episode.
It all comes together.
Editorial decisions in adaptation, as best exemplified in Nicolas Cage's magnum opus adaptation.
Hey, speaking of being adapted,
Yes.
did you know that we have a Patreon?
What?
That's right.
A Patreon?
A Patreon.
A Patreon patron in 2023?
You're goddamn
I thought
right.
they all died out.
No, see, that was the patrons. I don't know what this is, but that's it.
Lean in.
Okay, patron. We have a new patron, Liam. A patron who is, I want to say, editorially competent. That's about it I can say about them. I'm assuming I can't go much deeper than
Skip
that.
to the end.
And it's Mary Kate Donovan.
Mary Kate Donovan.
No relation to Ashley Donovan.
What is there, Sir Olsen? Okay, I solved it. Mary Kate Donovan. That name has a particular cadence.
Hi, my name's Mary
getting-
Kate Donovan.
I'm getting sort of like...
Pinot Noir energy.
Say again?
Pinot Noir
What's
energy.
Pinot Noir?
Like a wine? Like a Pinot Noir?
Oh, Pinot Noir?
Yep.
I was like... You know
I
how
know
there's
a
like... Icelandic noir is very popular?
Icelandic noir?
Yeah.
Is that like
Like
a
genre? Yeah. There's like and there's like J-pop and things like that. I was
Oh,
like,
yeah, yeah.
where's Polish noir maybe? Pinot Noir?
Ah, yes, Pinot Noir. Love a good bit of Polish noir. Everyone there's just kind of having a
Pierogies.
fine time, you know. It's not really a huge party
I was
town,
going to say
Yeah.
the name gives me Girl Detective vibes.
but- Ooh, like Veronica Mars.
Exactly.
Or, yes.
Or Nancy Drew.
Mmm.
Or the Hardy Boys.
Mary Kate Donovan's on the case.
Yeah.
She'll crack the case with her big magnifying glass and somewhat small stature.
Donovan, I told you to leave this to the grown-ups.
I can't leave it alone. But I hope that's not what Mary Kate Donovan sounds like.
I kind of do. It's a cool voice.
I can't leave it alone. I'm Sonic the Hedgehog now.
Yeah. So puts on sunglasses, skateboards away.
Literally everyone's like, Sonic, you can't just be a girl
Mary
detective.
Kate Donovan, the cool teen detective, cool 90s team detective. It's a vibe. Coming soon from self-published Amazon, Liam S. Smith.
Ooh. Thank you, Mary Kate Donovan, for your support and kind words.
And your mystery-solving, go-getting attitude.
Thanks for solving the case with the missing sheep. Who knew that the drug lord was inside it all along?
Just like that episode of Adventure Time. Okay, Nick.
Yes.
This episode is, of course, entitled Heavy Weather Part 2. It's, I would say,
Depressing?
yes, but I would say it is strangely paced in that we're just chucking this main villain backstory in the middle of this horrific snail battle.
Yeah. Well, I guess the snail battle's at a natural point where we can say, well...
Well, everyone's traveling, and they're snails, so it's going to take a while. So we've got some time to think about everyone's motivations.
Yeah.
And the narrator, who has broken into the story and exists now, really wants us to know about Father Pucci's backstory.
Ooh, that's something that we haven't delved into yet.
Okay.
Father Pucci's backstory.
Yes.
We've had brief glimpses, but literally this entire time have no fucking clue what his deal is.
And now we know that he's...
Sort of the rest of the story.
We know that he's traumatized by the concept of unexpected consequences of actions.
Because of his brother.
And he's the person who stole his brother as a baby as well.
Yes.
All these people made decisions and they didn't pan out the way they wanted them to. And that's deeply upsetting to Father Pucci. So he became an evil wizard.
Okay, like, when it hits that part of the episode, it went from like, damn, this is actually pretty compelling stuff to, alright, well, that's Jojo's baby.
Yep. Oh, dearie me.
I might call it out when we get to it, but there was literally a point where I was like, what? Hang on, Araki, let's go back a step. What?
Oh, no, you've got to give me a taster at least.
Well, you know when we're at the lake,
Yes.
that's the point where I was like, hang on.
When he was wading through the water and having a crisis of faith.
Yeah, and I was like, hang on a second, hang on. That's not quite, this is a bit of a leap of logic now that isn't very, it's not quite with the theme that we're going for, but that's fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah.
So, Nick.
Yes.
We do open in the distant past.
1978.
No.
1977.
No.
1987?
No, you're getting further away.
1976.
1972.
Damn it.
June 5th.
Ooh.
A very auspicious date. The date that the villain of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 6, Stone Ocean, was born.
Oh my god.
But he didn't know he was a villain yet. He was just an innocent old baby.
Fuck these fucking babies. So
this woman has a baby in the hospital. She's got a miserable life and her baby died.
Yep.
So, in her grief and desperation, she takes her dead baby and swaps it out for one of two twins that were also in the hospital.
yeah. Weirdly, the twins are, I guess,
I mean, we've got to acknowledge that one of these
horrifically-
twins has dark skin and one of them has light skin, and it's not really addressed why that is the case.
no, but at the same time,
Maybe it's they've got Italian ancestry. Maybe it's a sort of Mediterranean tan.
maybe little old baby there is just albino. Maybe that's it.
And I wouldn't think much of it, but it is a plot point later in the episode that the KKK come to believe that Weather has African American ancestry.
Yeah.
So
just
the
like-
fact that Pucci is the one who has dark skin is very odd.
It's quite odd, but also it's like I can't remember what I was going to say now because it's just it's really weird. It's very odd. But she swaps them out and she's
got herself a new baby.
yeah.
It's a fresh baby.
Just a
the other
fresh,
one
hot
was
baby.
spoiled.
Well, to be fair, both babies are spoiled because they look like fucking grandfathers.
Well, both babies are spoiled because one is dead and the other will grow up in the lap of luxury in the affluent estate in the next town over.
Oh man. So yeah, this lady is like, I need to steal this baby.
And
so
you
that it
steal
doesn't
this
die.
old man.
God, these babies are so
Puffed
weird.
eyes, tiny mouths, wrinkled faces. Babies do have wrinkled faces.
Yeah, but they don't have moustaches like fucking Weather Report does here.
I hate to tell you, that's not a weather report. That is a dead baby. There's going to be a lot of talk of infant mortality in this episode, listeners, so maybe skip out on that if that's not your thing.
Strong trigger warnings of suicide, dead babies, and I don't know what else.
Racial lynchings.
Yeah, racism, a lot of violence.
Unexpected consequences of actions.
That's the trigger one.
Devil's bargains from handsome vampires.
Social and emotional manipulation, cans flying through windows. If you're a big fan of glass not being broken, this is not the episode for you.
A few years later, little boy Pucci, who's dressed like a businessman,
Because he's rich and affluent.
is at the graveyard, for the surprisingly elaborate tombstone for their 0-day-old deceased brother, Dominic Pucci. Dominic Toretto.
Oh, man.
Dominic Pucci.
So, little old Pucci is like, oh my god.
He's had white hair from the day he was born.
Literally, his head has been covered in hair as an infant.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, hey, who was this child?
These shaved-in marks are naturally occurring.
Yep.
And his parents are like, you had a younger brother. He died the day you were born. Sorry.
Huh.
He was your twin, but now he's not.
We also see his sister.
His beautifully animated sister.
Absolutely.
So,
60 FPS sister.
we come to know and then lose Perla Pucci in this episode, and she I feel like she is the most high-budget animated character in Stone Ocean to date. Every single movement of her head has her hair Studio Ghibli cascading around her, and her skin flushes when she's feeling emotions.
Like, every single part of it screams, oh, this is the one that,
this is the most significant character in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure to date, based purely on animation quality.
Like, literally everything about it, the animator must have been like, this is the one. This is the one that's going to put me on the map.
Yeah.
This one lady is going to put me on the map. But then she immediately dies, and we're like, oh, what? Why did you...
In 1987...
Okay.
A year before the events of Stardust Crusaders.
Oh, shit.
Sidebar, I've got a new game on my theoretical JoJo game wish list.
Yep.
And it is, what did I call it in my head?
Wait, hang on. Is this a game that you've just made up?
No, you'll understand where I'm going when I say the name.
Okay.
It is Stardust of Paradise, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Origin. And it takes place through the years of, let's say, 85 to 88.
Okay.
Dio and later Pucci traveling the world recruiting a bunch of stupid stand users.
Radio. Okay. Wait, hang on. 1988. That's when Stardust Crusaders happened.
Yeah.
So doesn't that mean that Dio dies in 1988?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Just getting the timeline right in my head, given that in 1988, months pass in the story.
Yes.
So they must have gotten pretty tight in on finding those stand users before Joseph and Co.
Well, we didn't. I don't think we know the exact timeline of when Dio was dug up, or if we do, I don't remember it off the top of my head, and I don't care enough to be corrected.
Listen, Araki won't remember, neither will I.
But the point being, there was a time there that we know where he was experiencing the modern world and recruiting an evil army before going to read the Quran in his bed in Egypt for 6 months or whatever it was, 90 days.
Yeah, good times. Good times with Dio being a
And he really
weirdo.
became fast friends with Father Pucci quite quickly, given they met in 1987.
Yeah, and also for all
Or
of...
something more.
Oh. And for all of 10 seconds, where he's like, I'm allergic to sunlight, goodbye.
So, Pucci is praying. The beautiful stained glass windows are shining down on him in the darkened church.
So I think they say something like, Pucci comes from a line of Italian clergymen or something?
So, yes, he's got Italian ancestry, I think, on his grandmother's side.
Yep.
And so in the anime today, it said that one of their ancestors was a famous clergyman. Mm-hmm. In the manga, it says he was the Pope.
I'm sorry? Okay, sure.
I've got that on the manga and anime differences page here. Pucci's ancestor is referred to as a famous clergyman instead of a pope.
I would love if it was like a famous pope instead of the pope. Like, that would be amazing. Just imagine if you were like, oh yeah, the pope was my great-grandfather. Like, imagine if you could just drop that in conversation.
Yeah. And hang on, but aren't Catholic priests not meant to...
Well, not if you're the pope. Pope does whatever the fuck the pope wants.
He's got that papal infallibility.
Fuck the pope papacy.
The wiki says, due to the time period, he is possibly Pope Clement the 11th, Pope Innocent the 13th.
Innocent the 13th?
Yeah, the Pope names, you know. Pope Benedict the 13th, Pope Clement the 12th, Pope Benedict the 14th, Pope Clement the 13th, Pope Clement the 14th, or Pope Pius the 6th. I would argue that it's JoJo's world and it can have its own popes.
Look, if it doesn't have its own popes, what are we doing here? What are we fucking doing? Like, the fact that we have Okay. Anyway, we're getting distracted
We
from
are
the
getting
key point.
distracted, which is that he is praying and he's wondering why there has to be happiness and misfortune, and why did his dear twin brother have to die.
He's having a moment.
He's having a moment with the Lord,
An
and he's not getting the
introspective
answers he wants. But
Thankfully, there's a vampire in the room to give him the answers he
he
needs.
goes down into the ossuary and trips over Dio's classic genie curved slippers.
God, I forgot that he wears those fucking loafers or whatever they are.
And Dio's there, and he's the nicest we've ever seen him.
Yeah, he doesn't just immediately try to
Murder Pucci or
brain butt him or
put
something.
his head on a dog for no reason.
He just like... So
Hey, I see you're reading a book I've heard of, in which a clergyman has an affair with a married woman.
Is that foreshadowing, I hear?
Not really.
Oh, okay, never mind. So one of the best bits ever is when Dio's feet whoof out from under the pew.
Oh, kind of like a Wicked Witch of the West.
Yep.
Whoop.
Yep, literally just like, we only see his shoes connected to his legs, obviously,
Wow.
under the end of the pew. And then he's like, why, is that a book you're reading or are you just pleased to see me? And then he just, zoop, just straight up, just flies out.
So what happens? Young Pucci is like, this ossuary is closed to the public except on Sundays. You can't be here. And Dio says, you see, I'm allergic to sunlight. The sun doesn't set till 6:19 tonight, so I'm stuck here. And then young Pucci is like, I believe that because it's so ridiculous no one would make it up.
What does he actually say? He's just like, well, all right then.
Yeah, he just says, all right.
Imagine if, like, someone broke into your house and you're like, hey, you can't be here. This is my fucking house. It's like, well, you see, I'm allergic to sunlight, so I'm kind of stuck here until 6:30. And you're like, all right.
Dio goads him a bit like, you're just going to believe me? Like, I could be a thief who's stuck in here to steal the valuable artwork.
To which Pucci responds with, a thief wouldn't make the dumbest, stupidest reason as I'm allergic to sunlight.
Quote,
That's
not
so
even
ridiculous.
the devil would tell a lie like that.
Well, good thing he's, I made the joke already, but, good thing he's not the devil. He's God, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, wow, what if Diavolo was also in this room?
Oh, God. That'd be...
A real meeting of the minds.
Yeah.
Yoshikage Kira's upstairs killing a woman.
It's just like, you've got God and Satan in one room, and then upstairs, there's just a hand
Pervert
fetishist.
serial killer.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Kars is drifting further and further away from the Earth by the day.
Oh, man.
And that's the current status of all the JoJo villains.
Beautiful.
At this point, Dio, does some Jesus-y healing stuff where he notices
Who fucking knows how he does this?
vampire powers, you know?
But,
I think if you are at the point where you can turn a man into a snake creature or put a head on a dog,
Maybe
then
you can-
fixing a malformed toe is kind of child's play.
Yeah. You just look at a toe, you're like, it's a bunion.
Yeah,
Done.
so he was born with a defect in his foot, where I don't know if that's the correct way to say that these days, but moving on.
He was born with bent toes?
Yes, on his left foot. So he can still walk around, but he does trip a bit. And off screen, before leaving momentarily, Dio magically fixes it.
Oh my God.
It's real sort of encountering the devil.
Yeah, it's like
vibes.
the first one's free. If you want the other toes fixed, you're gonna have to pay me.
And he finally says the thesis statement of part 6.
Hang on, wait. The lead up to it is fucking gold.
Okay.
So we have I'm allergic to sunlight. It's like, all right. He's like,
Hey, what's wrong with your foot?
Oh, well, I've got these bent toes. Do you believe in gravity? The whole screen just goes that classic JoJo's
everything's
liquidy background, color shifts.
You tripped on me for a reason. And then he gives him an arrowhead and is like, hey, take this arrowhead. If you need it one day, I'll be there for you.
Oh my God, it's so ridiculous.
Why is he taking such an instant shine to him? Who knows?
Know. The arrowhead spins around and points at Pucci.
Because of gravity.
And Pucci's like, oh my God, what does that mean?
But he doesn't really, he kind of takes it in stride.
Yeah, apparently he keeps it on his person at all times.
Yep.
But, he's just a bit like, oh my God, the arrow, what does it mean?
I've got another quote here. If you ever wish to see me again, wish upon this arrow and call me. No matter how far in the future that may be. Do you understand? Just keep me in your back burner.
You know, when I meet a new summer lover and I'm
Having a blast.
I grab her hand and say, keep me in your back burner.
And then
I
fly into the darkness and disappear.
I barrel roll backwards with a nice poof cloud.
Yeah. And then he's left alone in the dark room.
God,
What an extrovert.
God, it's just such a weird. Like, we've never seen Dio do this ever.
Well, we have actually. I hate to
What?
correct you, but
Have
in
we?
part 1, he did fly backwards and then vanish. When he was. Do you remember when he froze everyone's arms just before he summoned Tarkus and Bruford?
Froze everyone's
Because he was
arms.
he'd learnt to be super cold. And that's why they
think
couldn't
so?
just kill him with the ripple.
I think I remember.
When he was done gloating and the Dark Knight, he just sort of like drifted backwards and vanished into mist. Classic vampire stuff.
okay.
It's just that we don't really see that kind of stuff in the Stand era, you know?
Yeah. We're too caught up on the powers and the stands, but we forget Dio's just a humble vampire. He's already got the abilities of all the vampires.
He was going easy on Jotaro by not instantly murking him with his laser eyes.
And that's why we love him. Much like Speedwagon loved Jonathan.
Both of them, really.
Well, I don't know if he loved Joseph.
Like
He
a
was-
son.
Yeah, like a son. But I don't know if he loved that son. He was more like well, I guess I'm stuck with him, but you know what?
Oh, I fully disagree.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
It's 1988,
my
the
God.
year of Stardust Crusaders.
Oh my God.
And Father Pucci, not yet a father,
Still a basic
still a boy.
bishop.
Basic bitch.
Basic bishop.
Yep.
Oh.
That's good. I like that.
You're so pleased.
He is cleaning the priest side of the confessional when,
Some fucking random lady just rolls on in.
and she's like, I need to confess my sins. And he says,
No,
I'll go get the priest. And
not-
she
I'm not
said
the
she just barrels into her confession.
I haven't got time.
You see, I'm dying of a deadly but unnamed disease.
It's like, I am not the priest.
And when I was younger, I had a baby, and that baby died, so I stole another baby. And that baby's name was Dominic Pucci.
So I'm still not the... Tell me
But I
more.
gave him a better name, and that name was...
Wes Aquamarine. Fucking Wes
More on that later.
Aquamarine.
So Pucci realizes that his twin brother is alive and has been raised by another family.
They live... I think they said that they knew that the twin was living in the same estate that Pucci's living in.
No.
But he's... No, didn't they say he's
No.
living in a large estate?
No. The woman said that she knew that Pucci's family lived in the
Yes.
large estate in the next town over.
Yeah.
This woman is not so well off.
No, she's like, oh my God, the baby.
Yeah. This reminds me a bit of the critically acclaimed murder mystery / examination of religion Pentiment.
Pentiment.
Yes.
The video game
Yes.
Pentiment? The one that everyone was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And then we all just kind of moved on.
I played it through. I thought it was amazing.
Everyone did. They were like, oh my God, there's so much.
And what it reminds me of, without getting into any big spoilers from that, Father Pucci is unable to act on this information because it was given to him in confessional. In Pentiment, there's a minor plot element where the village priest suspects another character of wrongdoing. That character knows the priest suspects them. And so to ensure that the priest can't tell anyone about it, he confesses that to the priest under the seal of confession.
Ooh.
So the priest is, by his
Binding of whatever.
his faith, the
Yeah.
strictures of his faith, unable to act on this information meaningfully.
Interesting. Ooh. Well.
Hmm.
Meanwhile, here, Father Pucci's all in.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, so you're telling me that I have a brother?
Meanwhile, in a juice bar across town, Okay, so I do have to disappoint you, Nick. His actual name in Japanese isn't Wes Aquamarine.
Is it Weza Aquamarine?
No, that would be maybe better. I'm not
Because
sure,
because
but
when he says, oh, people call me Weza, I was like,
well,
oh.
people call me Weather.
Yeah, well, doesn't he say...
I don't buy that, honestly. It's such a it's so what's the word?
Transcontinental?
Yeah, it's such a transcontinental express. No, it's so it strains credulity, even in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure for me. that people already call him Weather when he would later go on to be known exclusively as Weather because it was the name of his power. That was all he had left.
Ridiculous.
No, his name is in fact, in the original Japanese, Where's Blue-Marine, after the Blue Fond or Bluefin fashion line.
Oh, where's Blue-Marine?
Yeah.
I can see why they changed to Aquamarine.
It sounds better. It sounds cooler.
It does, well, let's not say cooler. It certainly sounds more JoJo's.
Where's Aquamarine? Bluefin SPA is an Italian fashion house. You know what that means.
Oh boy, here we go. Some real malfaction incoming. Bluefin Spa. What do? Labour.
Founded by Anna Molinari and her late husband Gianpaolo Tarabini.
Ooh.
The core brand is Blue-Marine, which they started in 1977, followed by Miss Blue-Marine, Blue Girl, and Anna Molinari, which is their luxury fashion brand.
Oh, it's just named after her now.
Yep, okay, they do. They started with lingerie, accessories, and wristwatches, homeware, perfume, standard stuff, really.
Mm-hmm. But where did it all go wrong?
I don't know if it did. There's not a lot about them on this Wikipedia page, the font of all wisdom.
Interesting. No controversies?
Anna Molinari has received many awards.
Are they
Involved in many charities such as the Italian Osteoporosis League.
Oh, that's all right.
And the rehabilitation of prisoners.
That's all right. That's pretty
Anna
good.
Molinari is nicknamed Queen of Roses due to her love for these magical and sensual flowers. One day, a warrior will win her in a duel and then escape the bonds of fate. Fashion is stupid.
It all comes full circle. Oh my god.
Oh dear.
That is ridiculous.
So while we're talking Weather Report's other names,
Wait, names?
Dominic Pucci, of course, is one of his names.
I guess. I suppose so.
That is named after, or that is allegedly a reference to Domenico Dolce.
Mr. Dolce from
Yes.
Dolce & Gabbana?
Yes, exactly. One half of the luxury fashion house Dolce & Gabbana. Controversy.
Yes, here we go. Come on.
In 2013, both Dolce & Gabbana were convicted of tax evasion, much like the creator of Sonic the Hedgehog was recently.
Oh yeah, no, wasn't he guilty of he was guilty of insider trading? It went so deep. It was like, oh my god, why? Why did you do this?
An Italian court found the 20-month suspended sentence. An Italian court found the pair guilty of failing to declare millions of euros of revenue earned through a D&G subsidiary company based in Luxembourg.
Ooh.
They denied the charges and appealed, and were cleared of wrongdoing by the appellate court.
Unjust.
In 2015, Dolce's comments about in vitro fertilization sparked a social media storm of criticism. He said, in Panorama magazine,
Yep. The perfect platform to talk about IVF.
I am gay. I cannot have a child. I believe you cannot have everything in life. You are born from a father and a mother, or at least that is how it should be. For this reason, I am not convinced what I call children of chemistry or synthetic children. Uteruses for rent, sperm chosen from a catalogue. This guy needs to shut the fuck up.
Really went full ball on this one.
Elton John came at him.
Rightly so.
Gabbana called Elton John a fascist later apologized.
Imagine being like, Elton John's a fascist, and then later just going,
I'm sorry, I called Elton John a fascist.
Of all the fucking people to call a fascist, Elton
That's
John.
a wardrobe malfaction.
God damn. Oh my god. That was quite a misplay on Dolce. Like if he was just like, Elton John's being an asshole.
Yeah, he's bullying me.
Yeah, he's bullying me. But then being like, he's a fascist. He's like, oh, maybe he's not a fascist. Maybe there's a bit. But he's still being mean to me.
Weather Report is, of course, 39 years old at the time of Stone Ocean. He's a Gemini. His Chinese zodiac is a rat.
Wait, he's 39?
Yep.
Oh my god.
He was born June 5th, 1972, as we saw this very episode.
Jesus, he looks like 20.
Yeah.
Good God. The people in JoJo's age well.
Mm-hmm. And he's serving a 6-year sentence at Green Dolphin Street Prison for attempted murder.
Who did he try to murder?
That timeline doesn't really add up, though, does it?
What do you mean? 6 years.
Assuming he hasn't been in and out of prison. Mm-hmm. Because we saw him get sent to prison in the flashback in this episode.
In 1988.
Yep.
Yep.
It's the 2000s now.
Yep.
And he's on a 6-year sentence.
Yeah. For this time, he's on a 6-year sentence. Maybe he was in and out.
Maybe. That's what I'm asking.
Or maybe he just sort of stayed there after the 6 years ended, and everyone was like,
We can't make him leave.
It's like, when do we get him
Every
out?
time we try to make him leave, the wind blows him back in.
There's just something about him.
He's 192 centimeters and Italian-American.
It all comes back to Italy.
His hobby is reading TV guides.
Did we already cover that?
I think we
somewhere?
may have, yeah.
Yeah, sounds familiar. There's something so, like, charming about reading a TV guide, though. You know? Because it's like, does he read all the articles?
Does he read the articles or just the listings?
Yeah, does he just go, well, tonight I would be able to watch this if I had access to a television.
There are some prisons in Green Dolphin Street Prison.
There are some prisons in
Some TVs, sorry. I'm trying to see if I can find his privilege card, which we started seeing recently. I'm just finding Weather Report trading cards, though.
Well, everyone loves Weather Report.
It's true. If there wasn't such a problematic age gap, he would be a much better partner for Jolene than Anasui.
How old is Anasui at this point?
Unclear. I mean, it's clear, I just don't remember.
Man, I can't believe Weather Report's 39. And he hasn't changed his style in all those years.
I found a Japanese version of his privilege card, but not English.
What do you reckon it says?
His prisoner number is MA 152403.
Wise.
The wisest of numbers. In All-Star Battle R, Weather Report's moveset has similarities to the movesets of Blanca and Cody from the Street Fighter series.
Oh, that's weird. Because Blanca is a big green
Goblin.
kind of ogre-y thing. Like a mutant gorilla of sorts. Be weird if Weather Report is just like, and he just casts lightning on himself repeatedly to do the Blanca move.
He could do that. So, yes, as I say, Wes Blue-Marine
Where's
is
Aquamarine?
doing his job as a juice delivery man, where he's delivering juice to this beautiful purple-walled cafe.
And then there are these 3 ladies sitting in one of the booths.
They're so snooty. They're like, ugh, a juice delivery boy.
Oh, I don't think he's that good looking. He's just a juice delivery boy.
I bet he's a coward. Only a coward would deliver juice.
Why would anyone think that juice delivery boy was worth the time of day to even joke about?
He doesn't even go to high school. That's why he works.
As a juice delivery
Yeah.
boy. So,
this old guy, snatches one of their posters off the table as he walks past.
and they're like, oh my god, Perla, isn't that your bag?
Oh no! And he's running past the window when the humble juiceman,
The juice boy.
Wes Aquamarine, hucks a can,
Of juice? Okay.
into the front window of the shop, which gets lodged halfway through but does not break the window as the
bird
errant
woman.
thief is escaping. However, the second can that is thrown at the first does break the window, causing the first can to,
Basically push through.
like a pool ball situation,
and smash that thief right in the face.
knocking him out or killing him instantly. We just don't know.
There was some blood. But was it too much? Unclear.
Perla, in beautifully animated reaction,
It's
is
like, oh my
incredibly impressed.
Oh my god, what a good shot. That's incredible for a juice delivery boy.
Young Wes is like, oh, I'm going to get in trouble now. My school doesn't even allow students to work.
He says something like, oh no, I broke the front store window.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what were you expecting to do there?
I think he just, classic Jojo's anger reaction.
Indeed.
Perla's like, don't worry, I'll tell everyone the thief smashed the window.
That's clever.
We're going to talk about Weather's fit.
What do you mean?
So
about it?
his hair is actually even more intense in the past than it is in the present.
Well, he's
Where-
only got a mullet because it's this.
Yeah, he's
actually,
got a
it's the
big...
70s.
It's the
No, it's 87.
80s, yeah. He's got a big 80s mullet at the back, and also his hair is a combination of his own hair and Polnareff's.
It's tall.
Yes.
It's up there.
No horns yet, though.
No horns. Not yet. Not yet. But soon.
They fall in love instantly. He says, I'm Wes. People call me Weather.
So,
This is real, sort of, hey, I'm Liam, but you can call me Ace vibes. Giving yourself a cool nickname.
hey, my name's Jazz, but you can call me Arthur because that's my real name.
But yeah, if you could actually start calling me Jazz, that would be really good for my
I'm
brand.
not calling you Jazz. But it's really weird because, like,
You've got to listen to the names they're not using.
it's like, I swear it was like, hey, I'm Wes, but people call me Wezza.
I mean, that's just Japanese pronunciation, I think.
But I think that must be where it comes from, in the same way that, like,
I don't want to speculate.
yeah, I don't know. But it could be that. Who knows?
2 months later, Father Pucci is really stressed about that confession. And he comes home to his family house, and his beautiful little sister Perla is like, our parents are out, and I'm in love with a boy who's your brother.
And
not that she knows.
Yeah, Pucci is all like, wait, you're in love with someone? That's great. That's good to hear. I'm so happy for you. That's perfectly acceptable.
My grades are slipping, but I'll make it better.
That's fine, as long as you're okay. But we cannot emphasize how much this lady is so insanely well animated. Like,
it's obscene.
it's like the best animation we may have ever seen, full stop. And we're talking about the Rohan Kishibe, like the treadmill episode. That was pretty well fucking animated. This
Of course,
lady...
that wasn't this show, though, Nick.
Oh, I see what you...
Loophole.
So, to be fair, this is the best animation we've had in this entire show.
The narrator chimes in, and from this point in the episode, is kind of like a guy.
Yeah, he's just... So he just kind of goes, I'll let you be the judge.
I got the
reader.
quote. I want you to judge the rest of the events. Who committed a sin? Is it the mother who swapped the babies? Or is it Father Pucci's parents? Is it Father Pucci? Is it the younger brother Weather, who knows nothing? Real sort of, what do you think will happen next, listeners?
All right, Blue, where's the next
Yeah,
clue?
yeah.
Who committed a sin, Blue? Blue, who committed the sin? Who do you think committed the sin?
I sin, you sin, let's all play I sin.
It's got very strong cult vibes very quickly.
Father Pucci
Tails his brother.
learns the shocking truth that
sister.
they have really found themselves in an embarrassing social conundrum, but he can't act on it directly because of the seal of confession.
So we are in the old boy situation.
Now, you said that while we were watching it, and I don't know what you mean.
So old boy, the crux of old boy
There's
is
this
that,
old boy, you see, a real Benjamin Button.
well, yeah, well, kind of. There's this old boy who, he's probably like, 40-something, 50-something, I don't fucking care. But he finds out that some dude that he knew from school or something, was having an incestuous relationship with his sister, and he watched as they,
Did the deed.
and then...
They had a stand battle.
Yep, they found out about it, and then the brother was all like, oh my god, he found out. Sister jumps off a cliff into, presumably a lake, dies, and then he's like, I'm gonna get revenge on that guy who saw us.
Okay.
Then gets him imprisoned for like 20 years, brainwashes him, and then effectively makes him commit the act on his daughter, and then is all like, see, now you're worse than
Okay,
me.
up until that last bit,
Yeah, up until the last
I was
bit.
seeing a lot of Stone Ocean parallels.
Yes.
Even like the tricking Jolene into getting sent to prison.
Yeah, but it's like the crux of, there's an incestuous relationship happening, I need to do something about it kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Feels very old boy. It's like, oh no, we're in such a terrible situation. I'm gonna fix it by, revealing it to the world.
If we're taking a diversion to make comparisons to other media,
Yeah.
I've had little things stewing in my brain for the past couple of months as we've been podcasting about Stone Ocean, about the parallels between the brotherly relationships between Wes Marine and Enrico Pucci, and Jonathan Joestar and Dio Brando.
Ooh.
Because they've both, obviously it's kind of...
like
There's a
rich
point
versus-
of contrast in that, one of them are biological brothers who were raised separately, and the other are adopted brothers raised together. There's elements of class disparity in both of them.
Yep.
There's tragedy involving a girl
There's-
driving the ultimate wedge in the relationship.
There's a strong sense of one of them is weirdly discolored at one point.
And I don't think it's coincidence that in this final part of this JoJo's Bizarre Adventure saga, there's another brotherly relationship with those characteristics.
It's almost like Araki kind of has a go-to archetype sometimes. Sometimes?
It's like
A lot of
poetry, it rhymes.
Yes, it does. It's like you read it and you're like, that's a JoJo's, baby. That's a JoJo's. And really, aren't the best stories about brothers fighting?
Yeah, Cain and Abel,
Metal Gear
Metal
Solid,
Gear Solid. What else do we like?
Final Fantasy, Stranger of Paradise, when they're kind of brothers in the sense that they were
they're brothers in arms.
Yeah, strangers, but only to this world.
So you could also say Metal Gear Solid 5.
Oh, love Metal Gear Solid 5. Yep.
Star Wars Episode 3.
Yes.
You are my brother, Anakin.
Wise is Obi-Wan. Yep, that's it. That's all the good
That's
media
all
that
the
exists.
brothers.
Oh. Ever.
Yep.
Neither of us have a brother, so I mean,
No.
Yeah, that's it.
So, Pucci decides he can't let his sister get hurt no matter what, so he does the stupidest thing he could have done in this situation.
He goes to the mob.
Worse, he goes to the KKK.
So how do we know this is the KKK?
Well, I'm so glad you asked, Nick. In
they
the
don't explicitly
manga/anime differences page of the JoJo wiki,
I see.
it notes that the KKK outfits in the manga, in the mob scene, are replaced with a hoodless, angry mob.
I see. So should be the KKK, but those
not.
cowards at David.
Those politically correct cucks didn't want to depict real active hate group, the KKK, committing unprovoked murder.
Oh, can't believe that they would want to... Just the idea of like, some dude somewhere was like, so we know that the KKK are in this manga. Do we want to portray them as the bad guys? It's like, well, we do, but also I don't want to deal with the KKK's lawyers. Just
very litigious. You know that
Just
Mitchell
coming
and Webb
after us?
sketch where the guy's creating the KKK outfits?
no.
It's I won't recount the whole thing, but basically, he's presenting his proposed outfits to the KKK, and the first one is the one that we know and
Yep.
hate. And the alternative that is used to sell him the ridiculous-looking white sheets
Yep.
is being a massive little girl. Like bonnet, blonde wig.
Yeah. Interesting. I just remember the one thing I know about the KKK that's always stuck with me is that I remember, I think in the 60s or 70s, when they were kind of like really coming into their own as like a group, the CIA...
I think your timeline might be a bit off
Maybe,
there.
was it the 90s maybe?
They're very old, Nick.
Oh, I mean like they were becoming more of like, hey, maybe they're becoming a national threat. Like...
Well, I don't know enough about that, but
Yeah.
I think you're underselling their longevity.
Oh, yeah. But in the 60s and 70s, the CIA were just like, should we be worried about the KKK? Like, we know that they're doing stuff, but should we actually be worried? So they implanted an agent in there who then came back to them, I think it was like 6 months later, and was like, yeah, if they can organize themselves at the best of times, I reckon they could go grocery shopping. They are so hilariously useless. Apparently, there were just things like, we do weekly meetings, and then we just chant for a while, and then we just talk about how much we hate things, and then go home. And that was kind of it. And then it was like, yeah, there might be a sect of people, but we can't find them in those meetings because they're so fucking stupid. Like, everything they say is dumb. Everything they do is dumb. Like, we couldn't find shit because everything the KKK did was fucking stupid. So they were like, okay, cool. So we should probably just look out for individuals? Like, yeah, just keep looking for individuals. Like, cool. And then just went on their merry way.
All right, well, I think that sounds like a dumb decision on their part, but...
Oh, it was so funny, though, because there was this entire thing just roasting the KKK, being like, they're idiots. They're all fucking idiots. Like, they're just useless.
JoJo's World taking the bold stance of the KKK are idiots. Father Pucci has gone to this Kane or Lynch looking motherfucker.
Holy fuck, it really is.
This private investigator, and is going to pay him to threaten Weather Report to scare him into breaking up with Perla.
A perfect
Dear
plan.
sweet Perla.
A perfect plan.
With no possible
repercussions.
Unexpected consequences.
It's not like the KKK to be the fucking worst.
He says, I have 2 requests. Don't ask any questions, and make them break up.
Now, I can only assume they took the break up part literally.
Well, the narrator tells us that Father Pucci is an idiot. And he didn't know about the darkness in this man's heart, or the darkness in this society.
Indeed. So, no mention of who this person is, but we can only assume that it's society at large.
So, the narrator, the private investigator tells us that he looked into Wes's birth for some reason.
Well, he's a private investigator. He's got to know.
And he didn't learn about the baby swapping. But he did learn that in 1972, Wes's mother married a black man. So he makes the natural logical leap that Wes would be this woman's biological son.
Oh my God.
Therefore, he would be the son of a black man. And so therefore, this crazy racist wants to kill him. So he grabs up his other pals and they beat the crap out of Weather and molest Perla.
Yep.
And then they hang him.
They hang him on a cliff.
Yep.
And then
one of them implies he's a cop.
Which, Rage Against the Machine will be like, we fucking told you.
Mm-hmm. It's a grim scene.
It's powerful shit.
Tortures.
Pitchforks, probably.
We can only hope. And also they burn down Weather's adopted mum's / stolen mum's house.
Yeah. They're all like, we burned it to the ground. And he's like, what?
Well, she was going to die soon anyway.
It was a pleasant death. Smoky, like ribs. So
she tasted great.
It's a grim scene, but damn if she wasn't delicious.
The ISIN narrator breaks back in and says, who was the one truly being punished? Was it Weather, Perla, or someone else?
Yes.
They were all just trying to love in their own way.
It was a problematic love. Just noting that.
Father Pucci's love brought the worst out.
Oh, no. So Weather's just hanging there on a cliff.
Perla cuts him down, can't feel his faint pulse, so she Romeo and Juliet's herself off a cliff.
And then we get a cheeky little ad break. And then the next thing we see is a boat in the middle being all like, oh, we found a dead body. And Pucci being like, what happened?
My dear sweet sister, no one could have seen this coming.
I only went to a man who did crime. How could this have gone wrong?
Why did I become a priest? Why me?
This was the point, but everything up to this point, I'm like, fuck me. Yeah, okay, this is actually genuinely some, pretty hard-hitting shit. And then he's like, why did I become a priest? I'm like, that's not what's at fault here, bro. And he's like, why? Why did any of this happen? Maybe I should kill everyone. And you're like, okay, maybe let's go back a second. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's very upset. He's cradling her body in the lake. He's begging for his sister's life. And abruptly the image of Dio appears behind him / in his mind's eye as his eyes shine a brilliant purple.
And he's all like, you, gravity.
Do you believe in gravity? And we met for a reason.
And Pucci is like, that man. That sweet, beautiful man.
Yeah, that was his voice.
Why is he coming to...
He once healed my bent toes in the ossuary.
As he's holding his dead sister in his arms. That guy healed my bones.
So he's like, that's right, he gave me... And then 2 things happen pretty much simultaneously.
Yep.
Perla's head opens and a disc pops out.
Hey.
She was a robot all along. No.
And
the arrow, which unbeknownst to us, Pucci has been keeping in his breast pocket all along, jams through his chest and neck.
And
granting him the magical powers of a stand.
Yeah, I think he hears Dio go, your power is to reclaim the memories of those that you love.
Yeah.
Like your sister. Use it wisely.
Your sister. And up on the cliffside, a similar arrow-shaped wound appears in Wes Akmamamene's
Interesting.
neck.
Weirdly tied there. Probably because they're
twins. They've got that twin link.
Yeah.
They can feel each other's sandwiches.
So it's confirmed that...
Oh, come on, I thought that was all right.
It's confirmed that the arrow, if you're twins, will work on both of you.
Yeah, well, it's been that way with family lines to date as well, remember?
Yeah.
They hit... Dio Dio jabbed Jonathan's body with it. So then the rest of the protagonists got their stands.
I guess? Yeah, that kind
Joseph, Jotaro. Remember, Jotaro put himself into prison because an evil spirit abruptly manifested.
Yes.
And then Holly got sick because she had no fighting spirit because she was a weak woman.
We can never forget that.
Even though the story kind of did. Never saw her again.
Yep, not once. Not once. So then we get a very weird cut to the Kane and Lynch motherfucker, who may or may not be the KKK. David Productions didn't neither confirm nor deny. Who is like, hey, you.
Who's chasing me through this Silent Hill level? These dark, decrepit corridors.
With like a bunch of doors either side. And he's like, hey, you.
Who's chased me into the House of Leaves?
Hey, you're that guy who wanted the investigation done.
But it's not. It's Wes.
So then he's like, oh, well, I'll just pull out a gun and shoot him.
Oh no, my arm's collapsing into snails. Ah!
And then Weather Reporter's all like,
Tell me everything.
He's all like, I don't know what to tell you.
Why do these snails keep happening, he asks.
He's like, I don't know. I don't have that answer. You're weird, man.
You said that Perla's brother asked you to split us up. Is that true?
I can't remember if he says yes or no to that.
He doesn't answer. His arm just gets contorted by snails and he blows his brains out.
That's right.
Then Weather picks up the gun, getting his fingerprints nicely on it, tries to shoot himself in the head, but all the bullets are wet. The gunpowder is drenched.
Oh my God.
He can't kill himself.
He was like, I knew it. I fucking knew it.
He says, damn, I knew it. I can't die. And the narrator tells us that he previously tried to throw himself off the cliff, but the wind blew him into the cliff face, which seems like that would still probably kill you.
No, it left him perfectly unharmed.
And he tried to drown himself, but the tides pushed him back out.
Classic. And when he tried to shoot himself, everything just got soaked.
Yep. There's another quote here about his revenge that I want to pull. He does scream to the sky dramatically about why can't he die to be with Perla.
It's a very good scream.
And the narrator tells us, his anger was one of despair. His vengeance spread to all, not just to the townspeople. On the fourth night, a horde of snails swarmed the town. And we see that same phenomena. Why snails? Where did they come from? No one knew. The only one who understood was Father Pucci, who was in hospital.
He just woke up in a hospital bed for some reason, but...
The snail phenomenon is going on, and I've just noticed that in the corner of the room is a distinctly human-shaped patch of snails on the wall.
That's a Junji Ito-esque image right there.
Yes. So they have a midnight showdown.
But basically, Father Pucci gets up and is like, these snails, if they're coming towards my arm, it means I have to kill my brother.
He's still got Perla's disc, and he looks at that.
He's like, this is my motivation.
Yeah, I have to kill my brother. It's all been leading to this. I'll do whatever it takes, and then I'll go see my friend Dio.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
If anyone can tell me why people meet, it's him.
And we get a beautiful shot of Dio's eye gazing into your own.
Sinister bisexuality.
Sinister or just beautiful?
Embrace it.
Do it. Do it now.
He's too dangerous to be left alive.
He's too dangerous to be left single?
They're both understandably mad at each other. Well, I mean...
One of them's mad at the other one. The other one's just like, you ruined everything. It's like, you didn't die when you were meant to.
And I'm your brother. What? Real soap opera reveal there. Yep. Anyway, time for me to destroy you. They briefly throw their stands at each other, but Pucci pretty effortlessly pulls out the disc.
And his memories are now with him. And he's all like, you're going to prison now.
Yeah. Quote, now die and take those rainbows with you.
A man with no memories is basically dead.
Yeah. I'll trap you in a cage, the cage of having no memories, and also the literal cage of prison.
Which we don't really know why he went to prison in the anime.
Well, he did kill that guy.
Which guy? Oh,
Lynch.
that guy. Yeah, I guess maybe they saw his fingerprints or something.
On the gun, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. What about the snails?
What about them?
Did they link the snails back to Weather Report, do you reckon?
I doubt it. Who would ever think of such a thing?
Well,
that would require some sort of magical powers, the likes of which small-town Florida has never seen.
That's true. That is true. They only have cryptids there.
Back in the present, Weather has determined that his only interest is settling the score with his dear departed brother, Pucci. And as Stewie realizes he has his memories back, it's like, I thought we were going to go see Jolene. I want to see Jolene with her.
And Weather's all like, no, that's fruitless, all right? They're all going to die.
I need you to be here so that I can kill Pucci and then you can kill me.
See, it's all about...
Why is that the case? Because he wants to die because Pearl is dead, I guess?
That, and because it's like, if you're 14 years old, man, being edgy is cool. And this is the edgiest thing you can do.
He's still mentally 16.
He's just like, yeah. He's on that murder-suicide rampage and there is no stopping him.
Meanwhile, the protagonists...
Jolene...
getting attacked by snail-eaten bugs, but are stealing a car and are going to drive over to Pucci.
So I love this bit because Jolene punches out all the bugs inside the car, and then they all hop in the car, and what's his name, who got turned into a snail?
Versus?
Yeah, Versus. We get a shot of him as the beetles come towards him, and then we never see him again.
He was never seen again.
And it's just like, oh, so I guess he's getting eaten then. All right, then.
Leaving only his shell.
Yeah. And so then they're like, great, everyone get in. The beetles are getting in the car. We're going to drive.
Oh no, you told everyone to get in. That includes the Beatles.
Oh no, and I can't tell them to get out.
We're
now.
just here to play the music.
Fucking goddamn it. I hate that so much. So
you
then
love it. You love my jokes.
So then Jolene is like, we're going to get eaten, but we're going to drive. We're going to do them at the same time. We're going to get eaten on the way. We're going to drive there. We're going to get there on time. We're going to meet with Anasuian Weather. We're going to save the day. We're going to kill Father Pucci. We're going to get it done. Let's get the hell out of here. And they just drive off into the sunset. Well, the supposed sunset.
Yeah. Nick, I have a little treat for the end of the episode before our usual segments.
Okay.
This is an interview with Japanese animator Yuki Kikuchi, who worked on the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure animation adaptation, about the process of working on it.
Ooh, tell me more.
Little throwback to the episodes we used to do on the Patreon, the Araki interviews.
Oh god, they were so good.
How was working on the JoJo anime adaptation? The first thing I wanted to do after becoming an animator was work on JoJo. So it was the first job I personally asked for. They were very pleased with my work in episode 5 on the John Gallier A beatdown. So I was responsible for keyframes for a few future episodes, and my impressive work led to me becoming the first time in my career an animation director. Someone's got to draw them, Nick.
Someone has to draw the John Gallier A beatdown.
Yeah. Out of the episodes you worked on, which had the most difficulties? Episode 12. I had to draw so many frogs for the scene where frogs are falling from the sky. And that really left an impression on me.
Amazing.
I drew a lot of frogs, both as keyframe artist and animation director. What is your number one most favourite episode out of the ones you worked on? It's episode 22 with Jolene and Father Pucci's handcuffed deathmatch scene.
It's
a good fight. I think its composition and uniqueness led to the scene being used in the trailer. Skipping around a bit, what's your favourite JoJo part? Part 4, Yoshikage Kira and Rohan Kishibe were my favourites.
A man of high taste.
Favourite fight is Bucciarati versus Prosciutto.
Yep.
And in part 6, the upcoming Father Pucci versus Weather Report.
Oh my god, who would have seen it coming?
In the future, would you like to work on an Araki work from before JoJo? This is still undecided, but when the time comes where David Production inevitably adapts Part 7 into an anime, I want to lend a hand in it. Ooh. So it's not the question he was asked, but that's a nice, tasty foreshadowing.
Amazing.
3 more questions.
Okay.
What is your favourite episode in JoJo's? Part 4's Let's Go Eat Some Italian Food.
Fucking goddamn it.
It's the episode Tonio Trussardi appears in.
Is it now?
An ominous atmosphere permeates an episode where there's delicious food to enjoy. Josuke stays on guard while Tonio is simply just preparing yummy food.
I just love that, like, the animator, of course, he's like, I just like the tension that comes from making food that you don't know what they're putting in it. But it's just good. Just good, wholesome Italian cooking.
Are you reading the original manga? I'm caught up through part 6 and I'm carrying on currently reading part 7. I reread part 7 recently. It holds up.
You did or he did?
I did.
Oh.
And of course I am reading The JoJo Lands.
The JoJo Lands.
Otherwise known as JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 9.
Oh. The JoJo Lands.
The JoJo Lands.
Do we does it become like there are now so many people with the birthmarks on their backs that we had to put them all into amusement
we
parks?
had to put them in a special prison island.
Yeah. It's like, what is it? Is it Dead Man Wonderland?
It's like Player Unknown's Battleground.
Yes. It's like, so everyone here has a stand and they need to die.
And if you kill someone, you can take their stand power and add it to... Actually, that reminds me, Final Fantasy XIV, of course, has the... Final Fantasy's iconic Blue Mage class, which is characterized by stealing enemies' attacks and using them as spells.
Yep.
And they've talked in the past about playing around with the idea of doing a Blue Mage PvP mode that's like a... what are those games called? Fortnites and PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds?
Like a battle royale?
Yeah, like a battle royale.
Yeah.
Where your blue mages spawn in the arena. They can go and find monsters to
Steal the spells off
and then fight each other.
and then steal each other's spells.
Yeah.
Oh,
That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Though I don't think they've ever like put any serious dev time into it. It's just something they've played around with.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah. What is your favorite stand? It's Metallica. Long ago, a friend showed me my phone company's contact name in their cell phone. I learned that my name was registered as Risotto Nero. And ever since, Risotto has become a special character to me.
What?
The stand he has, Metallica, is also super strong, and I love the fact that he went through great effort to track down Doppio, and thus the boss. A friend showed me my phone number's contact name in their cell phone, and I was down as Risotto Nero.
Why would he be down as Risotto Nero?
Well, if I was asking myself, which one of my friends is most at large? I have a special affection for Risotto Nero based on that recurring joke from our podcast.
That's the only thing I remember about Risotto Nero is that he was like, I have to hunt them down. But the fact that he was still at large after all that time,
Yeah.
like, he did like nothing. But without that, he would be nothing.
Yeah.
Like it's.
I mean, he was even less of a presence in the manga, where I'm pretty
so
sure, if I
weird.
recall correctly, he only showed up at that fight.
It's so weird. Like what? Anyway,
That's the interview. I've got a couple
that's
more of these to get through. I've got a couple specifically relating to the end of Stone Ocean and Jojo's Bizarre Adventure. But I've got a couple more that we might get to along the way, if I remember. But for now, Nick, what were our highlights this episode?
my highlight would have to be. I want to say it's actually just gonna have to be the absolute grim, like the KKK comes after Perla and Weather Report scene, because it just sort of, it came out of nowhere how dark it was going to get.
Tweeting out that Nick's favourite moment of this episode was the KKK, and 3, 2,
Oh, no.
1, cancelled.
But it's like, that whole section is actually like, damn, this is...
We're
this
just
is
taking
good
like
shit.
a weird trip into like American noir for a moment, and like the weird like shooter level that we see Wes fighting that guy in afterwards. It's just, it's like we're in a different show for a little bit.
Yeah, and you're just like, why the fuck did it get so dark so quickly? But then, of course, then it's like, and then after she threw herself off a cliff, we're back to Jojo, where he's running through and he's like,
Screaming at the sky.
why did I become a priest?
All that was missing really was Perla's golden ghost ascending to heaven.
And just being like, save me. It's like, oh my god, I can save her.
Well, as long as he's got her memory, she's still alive. And he does, of course, have her memory as a magical disc that he keeps on
As
his
a
person.
very literal physical object.
I wonder if he ever puts that into people, just to speak to his sister one last time.
Oh, Jesus. Your highlight?
My highlight would have to be the meeting with Dio Brando in the ossuary. And even more specifically, him flying away into the darkness at the end.
Dumb sequence.
So good.
Yeah.
Lowlights.
I reckon my low light is probably gonna just be when we go back to Anasui and Weather Report, and he's just like, no, I have to kill my brother. Then you have to kill me. It's like, what? Wait, since when was that? What? Why?
Well, he
What?
tried to kill himself multiple times before.
I know, but it's a bit like, wait, why? Hang on, but what? This is okay. We've just done all this stuff, and now you're unveiling that instead of being like, Anasui, I can trust you. Let's go. I'm going to tell you on the way instead of being all like, I'm just going to walk. Now we'll unveil all this stuff. And it's like, what? It was just like very weird pacing of that whole bit, I guess. Yeah.
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 I'm thinking, okay?
It's a good episode. I picked that bit because I couldn't think of anything else.
I think my low light is the placement of this flashback.
The placement.
As much as I enjoy everything in it, it really does kind of break the momentum of the snail apocalypse we're currently dealing with.
You do kind of forget until the end of the episode. It's like, oh yeah, they're snails now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But I guess it would be kind of hard to, well, not
You would
that
have to make changes to how this was all told to, like, you couldn't just move it 100% as it is from the middle of this fight to, either before it or after it. You'd have to make corresponding changes to the story.
Yeah.
But I think either of those may have suited it better.
Yeah, if it was just like...
The overall structure, that is to say.
Yeah, if it was you can't give him back his memories, you just can't, and then Father Pucci walks away and he's all like, only remember, and then it goes into the flashback.
Or even if we were explicitly experiencing this as Weather's memories rushing back to him, that could be cool.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you wouldn't have to change it much, but it'd just be like, oh yeah, we're not just gonna stop the snail bit because that's weird. And when you come back to it, it's like, whoa, okay, we have snails.
Well, Nick, normally at this point in the episode, I give you a recap of where we're at and ask you what will happen next. However, nothing has changed since last episode when I did that.
Yep.
So I suppose what I will ask you is, given we now know that Father Pucci is traumatized by the unintended consequences of people's actions,
Yep.
what do you think his whole deal is?
So I have a much better theory on what's going to happen.
Sure.
So you know how I said Yoshikage Kira, like Groundhog Day kind of thing has already been done?
Yes.
What if we did it again?
Okay.
Okay? But this time, we're going to do it much bigger.
Nick's doing a big rotating and squishing motion with his hands. Which is causing his chair to creak.
Yeah.
And I think the microphone's probably picking it up.
So time is difficult to physically show.
Like the big wheel they turned on Lost.
The wheel of time.
Oh, in the titular wheel of time.
That's this here. This is the wheel of time.
He's doing sort of horizontal steering. Stop moving.
I'm trying. The wheel of time needs to turn.
The wheel of time is turning. Rebel 1. Fight.
Or it would be challenge, wouldn't it?
I don't care.
Alright. So I reckon there's going to be the crux of what he wants to do is to either going to bring back his sister.
He's got that disc apparently.
He does have the disc, but I don't think it's going to be a matter of, I'm going to attain heaven and pull her back.
Ah.
I'm
going to attack and dethrone God to bring my sister back.
Yeah, basically. It's I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be more like, we're going to go back in time to the point where I fucked up and just change everything, or something like that.
Well, Nick, this kind of raises the broader question of that the narrator was asking us this episode.
Who committed the sin?
Is the point that someone fucked up the point that he hired that investigator? Or is it when that woman switched the babies? Or is it when his parents decided to have twins?
Well, this is the thing. Is it going to be
Decided to have twins.
Is it going to be no matter how far back you go, you can't change fate?
No one's without sin. Because of original sin.
The narrator is a chump. He doesn't get it, man. What if it's something like he wants to, or maybe it's something like attaining heaven is circumventing fate, but no matter what you do, you still can't really escape the eventuality of your sister has to die. Yoshikage Kira's Groundhog Day is a bit different because it just went back 3 days, but he couldn't remember anything. What's his name could remember, I think? The kid?
Hayato.
Yeah, Hayato could remember, I think.
Yeah, because he was the host for Bites the Dust.
Yeah. So he could remember what was going on, but maybe Father Pucci, whenever he goes back, he'll remember, I need to fix this time to make it better. But when he does that, inevitably it still ends up being the same.
There are inevitably more unforeseen consequences.
Exactly. Where it's the
timeline corrects itself.
Yeah, they didn't get together, but then they did eventually anyway, in secret this time.
Right.
And he's like, wait, that's not right. That can't happen. How am I going to fix it? Well, I can't get the mob to do it. I'll just do it myself. And then accidentally somehow, Perla will still jump off a lake or something, and it's
jump off a lake.
You are my brother. I can't believe you did this.
Yeah.
He's I did it for your own good. And it's no, and then,
All right.
Stuff like that is still probably going to happen. But I don't know if it's going to be a matter of he goes back in time, or he just changes one thing, but he's still at the current point in time.
Yeah.
And he's I changed that thing, but why hasn't anything changed? Why isn't Perla back?
Well, we'll find out, I suppose. Yeah. There are 8 episodes remaining of Stone Ocean by my count. Maybe 7. How's that new theme song coming along, Nick?
Oh my god. So literally every time I open up FL Studio and I'm like, yep, I'll give it a go. Every single time. Making things is hard.
So good then.
It's even worse now that, because work has been hectic. So every time I get home, I'm like,
I understand you're now working to the provisional deadline of our last Stone Ocean episode.
yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Well, look forward to that, listeners, and look forward to next time on JoJo's World, where we finally see how all this snail nonsense plays out. But until then,
What if we're the snail?
to be continued.